Oppenheimer is a 2023 film that is directed by Christopher Nolan and is getting a massive amount of Oscar buzz. It's also one that I was a little bit late on the game with in viewing. There's been a few 2023 films that I've definitely been late in checking out, whether it's been me putting them off because they might not have been my thing, or me putting them off because I've just been so freaking busy watching other shit, and there always seems to be something to watch. I'm even, recently watching some 2022 films that I missed. However, Oppenheimer has always been on my radar. I can't believe I watched Barbie first. It's actually kind of sickening, in my opinion. But I've always had Oppenheimer on the list, and this is a film that I definitely wanted to check out ever since I heard it, coming out in before the summer of 2023, basically. I've always loved Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan is awesome. I would say that his weakest film, for my personal taste, is Dunkirk. I couldn't get into that film at all. And this one, I heard from buzz and everything that it was a little bit more taking that style and taking that tone. I wouldn't necessarily agree after viewing Oppenheimer, but I can definitely see that it's much more grounded and definitely much more talky. So I can see where people were coming from by saying that, but I wouldn't necessarily compare this film to Dunkirk. However, I wouldn't compare it to Interstellar, which is currently my favorite film of all time, and I wouldn't compare it to like Inception or other Nolan works that are much more thrilling and engaging kind of thing. Now, if you like talkie films, obviously this film is going to be massively engaging, but regardless, what we have going on here, as I'm sure everybody knows already, is this is the true story of the guy who created the atomic bomb. And this is just from beginning to end his creation of it and who he was working with and the plans to utilize this bomb and bring it into fruition and use it against the Germans. But then they kind of had like a change of plans kind of thing and decided to use it against the Japanese. And history, we all know what happened, and it basically leads up to that with the formation and especially a lot of behind the scenes of everything that was going on throughout the development of this bomb. We have Einstein in this film. I forget the actor's name. I'll put it below. Tom Cordy. I'll write it down. But the entire cast is amazing, and it's also huge. I mean, you got Rami Malek in here. You got Robert Downey Jr., Josh Hartnett, Gary Oldman, Jason Clarke, Emily Blunt, Florence Pugh, Casey Affleck. You just get name after name and face after face, and they just keep on coming. You got Josh Peck in here, who's famous for like Drake and Josh. And then, he used to be like the Nickelodeon guy. Now you got Josh Peck. Very, very briefly. But a lot of these actors kind of show up briefly in the film. But I will say right off the bat that let's put it this way. There's a lot of films from 2023 that I enjoyed a lot more than Oppenheimer. But I massively respect the kind of film Oppenheimer is. The script is unbelievable. It's out of this world, and like I said, it's very talky. And the thing about Oppenheimer is it's one of those films that is certainly a craft and mastered. Like it's a marvelous achievement for what they were going for to make the film. But you have to be in the mood to watch this kind of film. And I love talky films. Like, I love films that are very dialogue driven. But you definitely have to be in the mood for it. I gave this one in this viewing a 4 out of 5. I thought it was fantastic. And I gave it the 4 out of 5 just because, like I said, there's a lot of films from 2023 that I just had a better time with. But that doesn't take away anything from this film and how marvelous it is. Cillian Murphy deserves the Oscar. I would say my prediction is that this film is going to take Best Picture, and it merits a rewatch for sure. And like I said, the guy who plays Albert Einstein, his character is very important in the way he's woven into the entire story, and he doesn't even show up too much in the film, but he makes an impact with the brief times that he shows up and the lines that he's given specifically that really kind of tie up and wrap around the entire point of the movie. I will also mention that the entire third act of this film is pretty much like a legal battle, and it's like almost like it's not necessarily in a courtroom because literally they just basically go into an office and they put a table and it's just two guys conversing back and forth with each other on like legal issues when it comes to the bomb. But literally, like it takes up a good hour and 10 minutes at least of just this like legal battle, like trying to convict Oppenheimer, Cillian Murphy's character, and just the back and forth, and then flashbacks and back and forth and flashbacks, and it goes on and on. It's very, very lengthy, and it's very detailed and complex, and it's literally like a third of the film. So I didn't mind it, like I said, but I don't think I was prepared for it, and therefore I like it. In this viewing, it felt like it dragged a little bit too much. But when you see these characters interact with one another, and you're really, or at least if you can get yourself invested into the dialogue, it's marvelously crafted. Like I said, I do feel like I'm repeating myself a little bit. And a lot of people were complaining about the audio too, like things were hard to hear. I guess depending on what environment you were watching this film in, maybe that could be the case. I didn't have any issues with it. Of course, there were scenes where the buildup of music was kind of drawing out somebody's voice, but like every scene that happened in, I felt it was merited, and I felt that there was a reason behind it because, and a lot of times I hear this complaint about Nolan films a lot. I can see why Nolan chooses to do this because sometimes the dialogue is like he'll do it when people are saying something that you don't necessarily need to listen to. Like if somebody's carrying on with a conversation that you already get the gist of, and he'll like raise the music kind of thing where you don't necessarily need to listen to the audio. But even when he does, it doesn't, in my opinion, completely drown out the person speaking. So people are like, "Oh, I can't understand what he's saying." Well, first of all, I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you get the gist of the conversation, and second of all, I personally can see what Nolan is going for to create the scene itself. And I still have yet to see a scene where like you completely can't understand what a person is saying, and what the person is saying is super important to the story itself. I haven't seen that done yet in a Nolan film. And and with that being said, like I'm not dismissing everybody's argument on what they say because I could totally understand where they're coming from. I'm just giving my perspective on it. I'm not saying they're wrong or anything like that. I totally get it. I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate where I am trying to kind of guess where Nolan's coming from in a sense. So that's about it. Oppenheimer was amazing like I thought it would be. But like I said, I think I need to watch this film again in a better state of mind and know exactly what I'm getting into. But for what it was, I can't take anything away from it. I've just seen films, many films from 2023 that I enjoyed much better. Barbie was not one of them. Let's just put it out there. Go watch my freaking review for Barbie if you want my full thoughts on that. I rant a lot. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming. Until next review, have a good one. Take care and cheers.